my name is Dr. Mikel H.G Hoff. I'm the founder and inventor of ANF Therapy and ANF Academy. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. So sometimes I did one and therefore it's time to do one again. And because of the circumstances around the world that I think is worth a little bit of a discussion, and I'm also going to touch a subject with a reason for a different pathologist. So I hope everybody out there is doing well, even though the world is chaotic and the politicians is fucking up our brains and scare us as much as they can. So my background is medical bachelor and PhD in the biochemistry function of the human body and the nerve system. So I'm going to start this day to talk a little bit about Corona again. And I know all of us is very tired of this subject, and especially me, more or less frustrated because lack of knowledge and also lack of honest information to the people around the world. We can see in many countries that now again Corona is increasing, the numbers is increasing. And yesterday I was a little bit shocked about the World Health Organization statement that all people that now during this autumn get normal flu or cold and searching for medical help will be stamped and registered as COVID-19. So this is a really weird way to keep the numbers up, and I don't know what the end target is and why they do this and create this kind of fear. So really about this virus, first of all I want to ask all of you, especially media, to try to actually write about the truth when it comes to a virus and a viral virus, how it really works and how it can contaminate us. First of all, I can guarantee not many of you have seen anyone sick with COVID-19. Many of you have friends that have got diagnosed but have no symptoms. First of all, I want to give you all information. If your body is attacked by the virus, you will have different symptoms. You will get fever, you can get respiratory issues, you will have headaches, you will sweating, you will have muscle cramps or pain in the joints, stuff like this. You will be very sleepy, no lust for eating, drinking, nothing like this. All of this you know. All of a sudden we have a virus that don't give symptoms. And this is very weird. And this you can ask any biological specialist in the world. If you have a virus attack, even if it's for the stomach, if it's a respiratory virus, if it's a flu virus, you will get symptoms. So this is one question I have to this world and politicians. And when we read about all these people is dying, I read another article from a colleague of mine yesterday that said it's very weird. A lot of people have died, yes, but none of them have died because of COVID-19. And I hope it's going to be more colleagues out there that works in hospitals as well that will come out with the real truth. The reason of this make me really sad is I see a lot of people losing their jobs. I see a lot of people cannot pay their bills. A lot of people are worried about the financial situation, and this make me really sad to create this kind of fear that people is losing everything. And how much do they really want to push all the people around the world until people say no? Because in the end, we have the pride that we really want to pay our bills, we want to do right for ourselves, we want to work, we want to go to the gym, and all kind of these things that give us happiness every day that they now take away from us. And this will make me really sad. Here in Spain I see a lot of what's called ventas, small family restaurants in the mountains, in the harbor, everywhere. It's closing. That's been going from generation to generation, and the whole family work that today are closed. Who's going to help these people to get the worthiness back, the pride back, and all this kind of stuff? And that makes me really sad. I wish I could really help these people a lot. Unfortunately, I cannot help everybody but a few. And all of these, and when you look at the number of deaths that the media is so happy to publish and increasing numbers, if you take that percentage of the total amount of people in a country, it's like 0.1% of total amount of people. If you go in and read statistics, how many last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago died because of flu, and other kind of cold or anything like that, you will see that numbers is a lot higher. So for me, these fear propaganda is really, really scary. And because people get really scared a lot, very scared. And that makes me really, really sad. And how can a viral virus really contaminate us? Yeah, first of all, it cannot survive me in few seconds in open air. It cannot contaminate you through air, through clothes, through whatever the reason is said. You need to get it more or less coughed in your face, or someone that have coughed in the hand, and then shake your hand and you immediately, for some reason, take it to your face. Same as normal flu or normal cold, it's contaminating us. So it's very hard. It cannot give anything to us through the air system or through open air. This is another thing that is very weird. In many countries, also here in Spain, we need to have a mask on when we walk around the streets, stuff like this. I never do, but many do. And when we go to a restaurant, there sits 200 people and eating. Inside, nobody have mask on. Of course, you cannot eat with mask on. But really, can you see the stupidness in this? Same if you go on the airplane, you need to have the mask when you enter the plane take off, you order coffee, which everybody's doing because the people cannot actually breathe in the mask. And then sits all these 250, 300 people in one aircraft without masks. And then we go leave the plane, we need to have the mask on again. So it's totally weird. It's absolutely no connection whatsoever. So what can we do to reduce this contamination of COVID-19? First of all, governments need to trust the people. Keep the distance, yes. Don't cough in each other's face. You don't need to stand 10 centimeters in front of anyone. Of course, in restaurants and stuff like this, that they use gloves, they use masks or face shield when they're cooking food, which is, I think, is really good and should be mandatory in all restaurants because there's a lot of virus, bacteria that is circulating in the kitchen. So that is very good. Wash your hands after you've been in a toilet or anywhere where you are in a public place and touching the handles in a public toilet, whatever. Make sure to wash your hands. It's scary to see when you are in the men's room in official place how many men it is that go there and take a pee and then go directly out from the toilet without washing their hands. This is disgusting, and probably the same in the female public toilets. And all of this is about self-hygiene to really take care of that. So what about the mask? First of all, you should never use a mask more than 1 hour in a row. You should remember, when we talk the biochemical function of the human body, the lungs is of course to support our body with oxygen and many things to make sure that we have the right amount of oxygen in our blood that can make sure that we get it to fuse with different cells and neurons to create function and energy to our glands, organs and stuff like this. But one thing we should know, that the body also uses the lungs for detoxing our lung system, and that means everything you exhale is so full of bacteria and toxins, it's crazy. So if you measure your mask after just 1 hour, you will get a shock. So you actually walk around and inhale things that is 10,000 times more poison for your lung system than the thing you breathe in. If you live in a high pollution area, it's probably even worse. And the carbon dioxide and all other toxins create severe damage to our alveoli in the lungs. So now we will see if this continues, people that start to develop in 6 months, 1 year, maybe 2, 3 years. But sooner or later, remember this, folks, if you get lung issues. Another thing that worries me a lot is that it's more or less that people is now taking antibiotics for COVID-19, which is even worse. I had many colleagues that works in hospital where they were actually mandatory to take antibiotics in early stage because some doctor, professor said if you take this early, you will not be contaminated with COVID-19. These doctors now is very, very sick and got it even worse, virus symptoms. And this is because how can you ever treat a virus with a bacterial medication, which would never ever work? And that's what they're doing. But what does antibiotica really do? Yeah, it destroys your microbiota and your antibodies. So you have zero protection. Absolutely none. If you then get any kind of other virus, it doesn't need to be C19. It can be a flu, it can be a cold, it can be anything. During this time, after you're taking these doses, you will get 10 times worse sick. And this is why you never should take antibiotic if it's not something that is a bacterial. So you can never, ever treat a virus with antibiotics. And I think it's very important for you guys to actually think of this, because that is destroying your immune system. If we then talk about vaccines, vaccines is just 1,000,000% chemical stuff that you actually inject. Some vaccines can maybe be necessary, good for us, and maybe mandatory, but I prefer to say none of them is good for us as the one we create ourselves by actually live out, diagnose or whatever we have, and then create an immune system from that. But this is pure chemicals that reduce other important immune responses in our body. It actually tell our own body that, okay guy, you don't need to produce your B and T cells and NK cells anymore, that these are immune cells, because we fix it this way. But since when have any chemical been good for our system and organs? And we can ask ourselves that we are developing more autoimmune diseases today than ever, because people out there are medicated to crazy for everything. And this is also now, if it comes something like this or another flu, we can call it banana flu, that probably could be the name of this year's flu, then people start to take even more vaccines. And that is really funny when we talk about vaccines. When we get a new flu every winter, the industry is already prepared and ready with the new vaccine for the new virus, and a virus that we actually don't really know what kind of virus it is. So that would be very good to have explained how they can know what this year's virus is going to be, and how they can have a vaccine already prepared. Because this we can learn now about C19 is when this new virus comes that nobody knows about, and probably therefore it's creating these panic things, because it was I heard someone dropped a sample of a virus on the floor and they were afraid it was airborne virus that they didn't know how dangerous it was, and then leaked it to media, and media love these kind of stories, and there we are now. Now it's gone so far so we cannot stop it, and they need to continue this stuff. But still, the percentage of people that is sick compared to the total amount of people is nothing. And as I saw in Sweden, that most of the people there that have died, more than 92-3%, was older people from older care that couldn't go and visit the hospital because they were not allowed to, because they were so occupied with other things, so they need to self-treat them in the older home, and they were sick and old from beginning, and therefore they couldn't take another flu, which is really, really sad. And that was public news just 2 days ago or something like this. And I think this means, what I want to say with this is, we need to keep us to the facts. We need to give the people facts. We as people need to search facts, not believe in stupid manipulation theories or super chips in all the population and blah. And nobody has interest in that, and nobody can win of that. I just think this is more or less lack of knowledge thing. And if we look at politicians, that they need to trust other people that trust other people, and during this is just getting more and more. So when it comes to the people that officially is controlling a country or whatever, then of course their job is to save the people, and they probably do their best, but still they need to get more knowledge as well. Maybe it's good not to trust everybody and search knowledge yourself. So I just want to say to all of you that keep your distance, wash your hands, don't breathe in each other's face. When we go like now from hot summer to cold winter, high humidity and stuff like this, we are more sensitive because it's like an animal. We need to change from the summer fur to the winter fur. During that period, we are more vulnerable than we are in winter or summer season. Okay, so that was a little bit about this. So take care of there and don't freak out. Search facts, and media, please publish some facts. Find out how it really works. Don't look at numbers and create fear to sell news, to be the first one that published this and this, because me and millions of biochemistry knowledge people know it's bullshit. And keep the facts on print about if people die. Don't write because of COVID. Find out what's the real behind it. would be very nice for the people to know. Think of all these people that wants to keep their job, that want to work, that want to pay the bills, that want to be able to buy clothes and food. Think of those instead of thinking of whatever you're doing to get famous on your magazine, okay? That would be very nice, because I'm sick of your stupid publications. Right. And when it comes to talk about different diagnoses, today I want to talk a little bit about migraine. And migraine is a thing that is probably in this time, I'm actually going to change that subject. I'm going to change it to depression, because that is even better at this situation. So we're going to talk about depression. So I have tons of patients that are feeling low, feeling depressed, or having this kind of issue, and they go to the normal medic and the GP and tell about the situation, and you get one standard question is, have you ever felt or thought about suicide? And many people in desperation do. We all do, maybe sometimes. It doesn't mean you're depressed or mentally unstable or whatever. It's just that life sometimes is tough, and sometimes we need to think stupid to be able to see the light. But why do we get these kind of feelings? And when you tell it to your GP, you will automatically be put on antidepressive pharmaceuticals. And many people think that these antidepressive medications is the solution for everything, but it's not. It will just give you more problems. Because actually it's no diagnosis called depression. Depression is more like lack of energy. So when the body gets low of ability to produce energy, or the so-called protein synthesis doesn't work perfectly, or we have chronic invisible inflammations and our body gets protected about cortisol, what is our stress hormone, then we can go into this phase. It's actually a way for the body to say, hey man, something is not working properly, we need help to fix this. So many people can come in this if you change your diet, if you go from a normal food and then become vegan, vegetarian, or opposite in the middle of the age, you can get this as well. So what can we do to really stop this and make it better? First of all, remember what I told you, lack of energy. You need to make sure you eat proper food. That is the first and most important thing you can do that don't have any kind of medical knowledge at all, is to make sure you eat good variable food, especially red meat. Red meat is really important, also some carbs, of course, because the small intestine's collaboration with the liver is breaking down what we eat and turn it into ATP. This ATP is then distributed to all our organs, blood, and everything we need in the body, and also to work together with the protein synthesis that is using some things that we get from the food to create different proteins. And this is different energy in different kind of organs, because all our organs not using the same type of energy to be working, because there we have different cells, different hormones, and different other things that the nervous system create a fusion, so it works. But if any one of them it doesn't work properly, get lazy or slow, we start to create chronic invisible inflammations. When that happens, the body is releasing cortisol, stress hormone, for protection of our organ and body. And as long as this is put under protection, then we start to lose a lot of energy, because body will not produce energy to this area as long as we have a problem. So how can we solve all these issues? Yes, first of all, my recommendation is, of course, to search for an ANF therapist around the world that can examine you and control it properly. Because what we teach here in ANF Academy is to understand the real holistic function of the human body. The priority line from pituitary, hypothalamus to the thyroid, and every single organ we have in the human body to be able to create this energy. Second of all, we need to remove all what is called invisible inflammations. And that can be very hard for you as a normal person to find out. And here again, you need to go to a person that a clinic can examine you properly. Because What is also really with all these people that have this problem is that they go to the doctor, take a blood test, take a urine test, everything looks normal. Because what I'm talking about, you cannot see on these tests. But you as a person can feel it, that something is not wrong. Maybe your stomach get easy bloated. Maybe sometimes you get pain in your groin. Maybe sometimes you have, every month you have period pain. Maybe sometimes you can feel like a cramp around the liver. It can be many symptoms. This is also typical when you're not then you will not sleep properly, because the body doesn't have resources enough to be able to heal when you're sleeping. So it starts all our engines when we are sleeping and try to fix the problem. But when we don't have resources enough, then we sleep what's called restless sleep, and we wake up 3, 4, 5 times. And every time we wake up, the body thinks it's time to go up because now the day starts. So it never heals. These become a big problem because now we create an insomnia. That means every day now you will start to walk around tired. You put your mask on the job and smile all the time. Hello, good morning, very nice. And then you come home, you crash. Typical signs of chronic invisible inflammation. So if you really want to be happy and not feel like this all the time, look for an ANF therapist. Go to findanf.com and find someone that can examine you properly and remove this inflammation and pain, because that's what we can do and our specialists on. Second of all, eat properly, variable food. You need to give the body energy to be able to make it produce the biochemistry energy that we need. That is thousands of different energy that we use in our system. We're not using one energy to everything, because that would create a conflict or internal war, because if liver wants more energy than the other one, that will become a fight. Make sure to drink water, 50 centiliter per hour. Not like bulk drinking. It should take exactly 1 hour to drink 50 centiliters. A little bit all the time. Every time you go and urinate, the water should be clear, no smell, no color. Perfect hydration. That means you help your cells to have water. Water is increasing oscillation in the nerve system. Stronger nerve system create better immune system. Immune system create better happiness and function and better sleeping life. Okay, I hope this gave you something. I could talk about this forever and give you even more information. As I always say, I try to do different videos all the time. Now it was about C19 again because of all these new restrictions. And the last restriction is even more fun. I need to actually end this. Because now here in Spain, we cannot go out after 11 and until 6 in the morning. So here in Spain, the virus only works at night. Between 2300 hours and 0600 hours in the morning, that's when the virus is very, very active. During normal daytime, we can go to restaurants, we can take the buses with masks and without masks if we are in restaurants and stuff like this. And the virus is not working during daytime, which is very, very good. So think of these people. Don't go out after 11, because then the virus is very, very active and very dangerous. And also enjoy that, because it's very funny that the virus now have their own clock. Anyhow, take care, wash your hands, keep the distance, and do all you can to protect each other and stuff like this. Even if the virus is not deadly for you that have normal function, normal body, normal strength, but just to stay away from get sick in general. Do always the same. Teach your kids to wash their hands. Don't stand right up in the face of each other. And after, if you use public toilets and stuff, please, all of you, wash your hands. All you guys out there that I see in airports or whatever, that go in, take a leak, and then walk directly out. Imagine what you have on your hands. And maybe then you take a sandwich or something else, or you take a juice and then put it back. Some other put his hands on it. Please, people, hygiene is the key of everything. And this is also what the governments try to tell us. Hygiene, hygiene, hygiene. I hope you enjoyed this video, and for you guys don't agree with that, it's fine, it's no problem. I just share my knowledge, and I will do many, many more videos. And make sure to, if you think the information is good for anyone, share it if you want to share the link. And as you need an ANF therapist, every problem you have, find ANF, mikelhoff.com, and you can see all over the world where you can find people. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful Monday. And remember, the virus is only active between 11 p.m. to 06:00 a.m. The normal times it's not so active. So take care. Have fun.